Namaste. Thank you so much for joining. Good morning. This is Dharma Yoga practice. It's all levels, but there are variations for those who are more advanced and would like to try them. So it's targeted more to those variations are definitely targeted more towards intermediate to advanced, but there's options as well for modification. So please do according to your condition and respect your limitations. On that note, let's begin. So just sit tall and supreme, close the eyes, and bring the attention inward. Nothing to do, nothing to seek. Everything we need is already within. Let's begin with the sound of Om 3 times to attract divine attention. Imagine you are everywhere. Fix your mind on God alone. all beings everywhere, be happy and free from suffering, and enjoy this practice through our senses. May we always have a strong desire for the knowledge that liberates us from pain and suffering. And may we cherish no ill feelings against each other, only peace, love, joy, and compassion. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So now, let's do the mantra for purification, to purify the space, the ground, and all the psychic channels within. If you don't know it, just pretend you're singing it perfectly through the voice of the Guru, and you derive the benefits as though you're chanting it perfectly. Those who know it, try doing a single breath and do it loud enough so it can be heard by the subtle bodies within and all around us. 3 times. Om Pavitraha Pavitra Sawa Vashtanga Topi Yaha Smrit Pandrikaksham Sabaya Bihantraha Sji. Om Pavitraha Pavitra Sawa Vashtanga Topi Yaha Smrit Pandrikaksham Sabaya Bihantraha Sji. Om Pavitraha Pavitra Sawa Vashtanga Topi Yaha Smrit Pandrikaksham Sabaya Bihantraha Sji. So let's do the seed mantras. Imagine the chakras that we're going up along, all the chakras are situated along the central psychic channel, the Sushumna Nadi, which is coincident with the spinal column. Imagine that you're opening up those gates, and in order to, when those gates are open, the energy can pass through more easily. So we're opening them one by one, and so when the energy is ready to be released, it will fly up easily. It is said that when it reaches the crown chakra, that is when the divine bliss can be triggered. But in order for that energy to rise in the first place, we have to be in strict adherence to the ethical rules, yama and niyama. So we have to keep on cultivating that observance. Let's start at the base of the spine. The color is red, so with each chakra, imagine that whole area is being flooded by this color that I'm telling you. And just, we chant the same mantra, 7 tones to the same mantra. Starting at the base of spine, Muladhara, color red. Lam, 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 lam. Repeat. Lam, 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 lam. Repeat. Now the same type of melody all throughout second chakra. Svahistana, located at the sacral area. Vam, oh, the color's orange. Vam, 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 vam. Together. Vam, 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 vam. Go ahead. Next, the navel chakra. Color yellow. That's Manipura. Ram, 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 ram. Repeat. Ram, 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 ram. Next, go to the heart. The color is green, Anahata. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. Next, the throat chakra. Vishuddha, the color is blue. Hum, 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 hum. Repeat. Hum, 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 hum. Next, the third eye, Anya, the color is indigo. Om, 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 om. Om, 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 om. And last, Sahasrara, the crown, the color is violet. Just one long sustained om. Allow the sound to ride on a breath. Inhale, imagine trying to make the sound reach the ends of the universe. Once again, inhale. To just try to keep on hearing those sounds in your mind. Imagine those sounds are still doing their work of opening up those chakras. Now let's chant the sound SUM, S-U-M, at the crown. With the vibration produced by the M part of the sound, the humming sound, and by pressing the lips together, those vibrations, imagine them shaking the whole brain, should feel the whole top of the head vibrating. This helps to produce mental sharpness and clarity. With the mental sharpness and clarity, we gain more ability to find the discernment, to know what's true, what's not true, and to reflect upon the knowledge that's been given us. In particular, the important knowledge is the knowledge of the true self, the nature of our true self, which is infinite, immutable, and absolutely boundless in its potential to grow and to evolve. So this is akin to the nature of God. There's no one without the other. There's no separation, no you, no me, just God. So let's just keep that in mind now. And then we'll do that sound SUM. Take a deep breath in. Concentrate at the crown. SUM. Once again, inhale. SUM. Feeling those vibrations again, lingering there to continue to do the work, to sharpen the mind. And now we will do the practice, imitating the forms, which are all divine manifestations of God. And like experiences, some of them may be more difficult, more challenging, some of them may not be what you might feel is pleasant, but be grateful for each and every experience. Be grateful and be reverent of each and every form. They all serve to teach us something. And with the knowledge is the antidote to the ignorance, and the ignorance is what lands us in a place of suffering and pain over and over again. So let's come to standing with that intention of cultivating the mind, cultivating the radiant health of the body, mind, and the spirit. Come to standing. And of course, more importantly, make the practice an offering to all beings. May all beings benefit from this practice. Adjust the camera. Okay, so let's begin with some warm-ups here. Starting off by circling, allow the arms to hit the body as you go from side to side. Feel as though they're heavy weights. Try to see all the way around you. Good, then slow it down. Bring your hands on the hips. Circle the head. Make large circles as possible. Even when the head goes back, try to see if you can see the floor behind you and all the way around you. And then change the direction of rotation. The ears come to the shoulders, the chin to the chest, back of the head to the top of the back. And now from here, left foot can come forward a little bit, right arm circles. Make as though you're winding up to throw a ball. Go forward now. Feel as though you're holding a weight of 5 pounds in your hand to make the arms swing more easily. And then the other foot in front, left arm circles. If you're having any shoulder issues, you can support your right hand across the front of the chest. You can turn the body in the same direction as the arm. And go forward now. And then release. Bring your feet in the same line now, about 10 inches apart. Arms up over the head. Take hold of the opposite elbows. Bend to your left. Bounce a few times. Try to get a little bit deeper with each bounce. Come up, go to the other side. Look past the left elbow. Try not to hunch the back forward. Come to the other side. And then go to the other side again. Pull on the elbow. Try to get the feel that stretch all the way through the left side of the body. Then come up. And go around in circles, mostly the head, neck, and shoulders moving at first. The pelvis, the waist more or less unmoving. But then add the chest and upper back into the movement, starting to feel the stretch in the waist. And if you feel comfortable to do so, the whole torso circles. Chase large circles in front of the body like a windmill. All the way back up, and then circle in the opposite direction again, starting small. Head, neck, and shoulders to begin. Gradually adding in a little bit more movement by bringing the chest and the upper back into the movement. And finally, if you feel comfortable to do so, maybe the whole torso hinges at the hips. You make those large circles, the forearms brushing across the feet. And then coming all the way back up. Release, shake out the wrists. Try to feel all the joints in the fingers and the wrists moving, being shaken. You have to move the joints every day, as Dharmaji says. Up and down, otherwise you might end up in big trouble. Keep on moving. Now bring your arms up to the side and swing the right leg back and forth. Feel free to bring the left hand on the wall if you like for balance. Try to get the knee right to the shoulder, lean forward as the leg comes up. Throw the leg back like you're trying to kick yourself in the head from behind. And then the other side, left leg goes up and back and forth like a big pendulum that went out of control. And then release. So stand with your feet together, arms by the sides of the body. Inhale, rise up. 2, 3, lift up off the heels. Bring the hands up high over the head. Exhale, 2, 3, and down, slowly lower the heels. Inhale, rise up. 3. Come up higher. 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. And down with the heels. 2, 3. Inhale again. 2, 3. Rise up. 2, 3. Push in with your toes. Engage the leg muscles in the core. Exhale. 2, 3. And down. 2, 3. One more time. Feel the arms floating up by themselves. And push into reach your toes. Come all the way up. Exhale. 2, 3. Down. 2, 3. Bring the head back down. With the head down, the eyes downcast. Making a gesture of humility. Stay in that mindset of humbleness throughout the practice. Renounce all the fruits. Dedicate this practice to all beings everywhere. Imagine this as your divine duty to all beings. So now let's, with that intention, bring the hands, come to the front of the mat, bring the hands in front of the heart. Surya Namaskar. Think the word Sam salutation to the light and the warmth of God. Infuse yourself with it and send it out to all beings through your own practice. Raise your arms up over the head, arch back, fold forward, bend your knees if you need to bring your hands flat on the ground. The right foot back, lower down the knee, drop down to the seat. Come into the high plank. Lower down the knees, bring the seat all the way back. Glide forward between your arms. Brush the nose to the ground. Pick up the chest. Bring the head all the way back. Again, bring the seats back. Come forward again. Brush your nose to the ground. Slide forward gracefully like a snake creeping through the grass. One more time. Remember, try to imitate the form. Copy the teacher. In each case, each form is your teacher on all levels. Adho Mukha Savasana. And then the right foot steps forward to the hands. Drop down to the seat. If that's too much, if that's too difficult, you can lower the knee down. You can use the right hand to bring the foot forward. And then the feet together, Uttanasana, chest on the thighs, head down. Come right to standing, arch back as you see fit. And then return home, hands to the heart. Raise your arms again, stretch the whole front of the body. Fold the body forward. In on the left foot now, bring it back first into the plank. Lower the knees down, the seat all the way back. Glide forward. Blessed are those who can imitate the forms. Physically, imagine a boundless range of motion like the serpent. Take the seats back, glide forward again. Be regal and wise like the serpent. Always blessed are those who can imitate the form mentally. And all the way back. One more time, glide forward. 3 times blessed are those who can imitate the form, copy the teacher spiritually, tap into all their divine qualities. And then lift the seat all the way up and back. Allow the head to come down towards the ground. Left foot forward. Feet together. Spiritual knowledge can only be imparted psychically. So just try to keep on finding this connection with each and every form. Back to Pranamasana. Bring the arms up over the head again. Stretch the whole front of the body. Approach your true nature, which is absolutely boundless in its potential. Uttanasana. Right foot back. Lower down the knee, sink down to the seat. Come into the high plank. The knees down, the seat all the way back. This time as you come forward, the hips come to your hands. Push into your hands and toes, lift the hips and knees away from the ground. No legs on the ground. Upward facing dog. Back into Adho Mukha Savasana, downward facing dog. Then our right foot steps forward to the hands. Feet come together, Uttanasana. Pull the body against the legs, head down. Come right to stand, reach up and back. And back home, hands to the heart. Go up and back again. Fold forward. Right in half. Head down. A gesture of humility. Left foot back. Into plank. Every movement expresses devotion, love, and surrender. Lift the hips away from the ground again. Upward facing dog. Into downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward to the hands. Feet come together. Bow to the legs. Come right to standing. Reach up. Engage the buttocks in the upper back to support your movement. Hands back to the heart. Go up and back again. these 30 namaskars are a really good way to warm the body, to work all the joints. Right foot back, keep the back knee lifted this time, keep the back leg charged. Into the plank. Now here, if you can bring your seat back and see if you can make your way into upward facing dog right from here. Pull the elbows into the side of the body, push through with your toes. You have to squeeze the elbows against the body, come into upward facing dog. If it's too much, you lower the knees again like we did, and then make your way up on your hips or between your hands. Stay here for a moment. Bend the toes under. Pulse. Try to get your shoulders back, the nose up, look like a dog howling at the moon. Try not to make any folds in the lower back or the back of the neck. Telescope your neck out of the shoulder, out of the telescope your neck out of the shoulders and your trunk out of your hips. Now push into your hands, lift the seat, and down we go into downward facing dog. So here, bounce again, try to get your chest closer to the ground. Look like a dog stretching its back. Those of you who are flexible, you might be able to get your forehead, your nose, some of you might be able to get your chin down without bending your arms if possible. Good. And now from here, the right foot steps forward to the hands, back leg stays charged. Push out to the back heel. And then pull it right forward. Uttanasana. Belly on your thighs, head down. Come right to standing, swing your arms up and back behind the head. Hands back to the heart. Raise your arms up again. Just be the witness, watching everything, watching the body moving all by itself. Fold the body in half. Left foot back. Back leg stays charged and the knee up. Come into high plank. Again, bring the seat back. Be mindful of your shoulders, of course. So if you're doing this version where you're trying to make your way without touching your hips to the ground, your knees to the ground, know your limitations. Into upward facing dog, back into downward facing dog 3 times. So round your back, tuck your chin in. And when you arrive in downward facing dog, sink the heart. Now immediately coming forward. Push your heart right between your shoulder blades. And then right up through the center of the chest. Push the shoulders back. Widen the hearts, come back. Widen the chest back the other way. Round your back into downward facing dog. Melt the area between your shoulders and then come forward again. Round your back. Chest forward. And back the other way. Tuck your chin in, round your back, make your way into downward facing dog. Now take the shape of the dog again. Loyal to its master with its head down. Embrace that beautiful quality of the dog. It's already within you too. Just have to turn it on. And then from here, whoops, left foot forward. Back knee lifted, back leg strong, and feet together, Uttanasana. Pull the body against the legs. Come right to standing, reach up over the head. Come back home, hands to the heart. Raise your arms up. This time, swing your arms back, bend your knees, land your belly on your thighs. Arms come right over your shoulders and in front of your head maybe if you're more flexible. The chest right on the knees. The forehead maybe make its way towards your shins if your legs are perfectly straight. Now from here, look forward, hold the breath. Keep the weight on the left leg, bring the right foot back. Kapiyasana, bring your arms up over the head. Stretch from the toes all the way to the fingertips. Then break the pose, bring the hands down. Step back into the high plank. Lower down again the knees or the seat all the way back. Make your way into cobra or upward facing dog. Back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Now sweep the right leg up, Ekapada Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step the foot between the hands, back knee down, uncurl the toes, right into Kapiyasana again. Pull the arms out of the shoulder, the arms out of the shoulders, further and further. Stretch. And then from here, land your belly on your thighs. Swing your hands back, possibly the foot touching your feet to the ground. Left foot comes in to meet the right. Uttanasana. Body against the legs, head down. Come right to standing. Swing your arms up over the head. Arch back. Hands back to the heart. Bury your mind deep in the heart. Watch the body moving with more grace, more ease, more power. And then again, hinge at the hips. Belly on your thighs. Join your hands together and send them over your head. Maybe even in front of the head. Uttanasana. Try to get the top of the head to come very close to the feet, the face to the shins. And then from here, hold your breath and weight on the right leg still. Left leg goes back right into Kapiyasana again. pull the arms all the way back as far as you can. Stretch from the toes all the way to the fingertips. And then come back down with the hands. Step back into high plank. And then bring the seat all the way back behind the heels. Come forward again. Drop your knees if you need to the ground first. And then come into upward or cobra, upward facing dog or cobra. Right into downward facing dog. Left leg comes up. And step the foot between the hands. All the transitions seamless, like you're doing a divine dance of devotion. Raise your arms up over the head and back. Do your best. Whatever you're doing, don't worry about the results. Swing arms behind the back, join them together, and bring the right foot into meet the left. Uttanasana, bow to the legs. Every posture, divine gift to all beings. Reach up and back. And then come back home, hands to the heart. One more variation. Bring your arms up, lift the hearts in every sense. And then come down, land your belly on your thighs, join your hands behind the back, and pull your seat directly over the heels if you can. If you have, try to straighten your legs as much as possible. Look forward, the weight on your left leg, right foot back. Right into Kapiyasana, pull your arms all the way back, stretch, fingertips eventually maybe come over the back toes. And then bring the hands back down. From here, swing the left leg all the way up if you can into Ekapada Adho Mukha Svanasana. Modification, just come back into high plank. Come forward, your legs still up, shoulders over the fingertips. Again, squeeze the elbows into the sides of the body. And then push out through the right heel as you lower your chest down first. If you need to, you lower your knee at the same time as the chest is coming down. Through into Cobra or upward facing dog. Roll over your toes, tuck your chin in, back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Immediately, the right leg comes up and step the foot between the hands. Move the shoulders over the fingertips so the foot doesn't land a big heavy thump. No jerks, no loud movements, no aggressive movements. Raise your arms up over the head, everything graceful and soft. And then lower the belly onto your thighs, join your hands behind the back. Left foot meets the right, Uttanasana. The practice is a beautiful balance between the strength, the drive, and the effort, with softness and surrender and gracefulness. Arms up and back. Hands back to the heart. One more. Same way. Raise your arms up. Left side this time. Hinge at the hips. Bend your knees. Landing your belly on your thighs and push your body into your legs. Your legs straighten. Seat over the heels. The hands over your head or maybe in front. Hold your breath. The body on the right thigh. Left foot goes back. Into Kapiyasana, pull your arms all the way back. And then break the pose. Bring the hands down, bend the toes under the left foot, and swing the right leg all the way up if you can into Ekapada or come into plank. Come into high plank with your leg raised. If your leg's raised, keep it raised. Pull the elbows into the side body, push the heels, your palms, the finger pads, lower the chest down. Right through into Cobra or upward facing dog. Roll over your toes, back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Left leg comes up. No breaks in the movement. Take the knee into the chest and bring the foot between the hands. Back knee down. Flatten out the toes. Arms up. Use the arms to telescope the body further by the hips. And then from here, lean into your front thigh again. The arms come behind the back. Right foot comes in to meet the left. Uttanasana, face to the shins. If your legs are perfectly straight, your chest may be going below the knees. And come right up to standing. Reach up over the head. Arch back. And then come back home. Hands at the heart, landing in Pranamasana. From the solar plexus, your source of inner power, inhale that power up to the crown. Hold it there, send it out to all beings everywhere, so all beings, especially those who are feeling weak, who need the empowerment, can use it. Exhale back down to the solar plexus, remain established in your own source. Keep feeding the crown, keep feeding all beings through your own qualities. Now, return, and now we're going to do some balance poses. Standing on your left foot first. Let's start off with ballet pose. Take hold of the heel from the inside with the right foot and bring the leg out. Bring the left arm up at the same time. So if you're more flexible, your leg comes closer to the shoulder, or maybe you try to line up your toes with your fingertips. So it might look more like a T. If you're having trouble straightening your leg, you can hold underneath the knee. If you're having trouble bouncing, stand against the wall. Stay completely unattached to the results. Just do your best. If you're more flexible, you can bring the right foot up higher. You might even be able to take, some of you, with push your right heel up with your right arm and take your foot with your left hand right beside the shoulder. Those who can do splits might be able to do this one. Arm out to this side. Good. Now from here, bring a right heel in towards the body, and then you can either do a tree with your foot against the inseam of the leg. Those who have a lotus, knee close to shoulder, and bring the foot right into the top of the left leg. You can hold on the foot with your left hand and take the right hand behind the back. Hold the elbow or lean for a little bit. You can use your left hand to guide your hand to the foot. And come with your left hand from the heart. If you're doing the bound one, bound Vrikshasana, or you can have both hands over the head, or even just one. Set your sights high in every way. Have strong, good intentions of offering. Now from here, we're going to do something a little bit different. Bend your knee, take your left hand down. Those who have the bind can keep the bind if you like. Walk your hand forward and then come down into squat. If you don't have your foot in lotus, bring your foot out across your thigh, and you can stay in this pose here, or you can take your hands to the ground and try to eventually push your seat all the way up and back, so you come into sort of like an Uttanasana. Those who have a lotus, you can keep your left hand beside your foot. Maybe you can bring it onto your left ankle. Your index finger just along the outside of the heel. Then from here, lift your chest a little bit, and then from here, walk your hands forward. So if you want to go further, you can take your foot out of the lotus, hook the foot around the outside of the shoulder. The other arm is just pressing against just in front of the against the knee. You can see if you can lift, or do this so you can see if you can lift your left foot up off the ground. So the foot's, again, you're like holding a newspaper underneath your arm. And you can extend your legs, those you know, flying crow. As Dharmaji says, not important. Just do your best and go to the position you can and come back up and release. So try it on the other side now. Press down through the right foot. Take your left heel by the inside if you can, and start in ballet pose. Your arms like a T, or bring the arm up a little bit high, arm and foot up a little bit higher like the letter Y. Lift the chest. Do again whatever modifications you need. Hold underneath the knee, stand against the wall. It's all perfect if you're coming with a sense of intention. If you're more flexible, again, you can take the foot with your left foot, push it up, push your left heel up. And take the foot in your right hand. Push it against the back of the shoulder, against the knee. And then take your arm out to the side. Now from here, fold the leg into your tree position, either with your foot like so, and bring your arms up. Stand tall. If you have this position, really push with the heel, the base of the toes, and the toe pads to stay upright. Otherwise, you can do your lotus, your half lotus. Good. Now from here, if you're in tree, fold, release the foot, bring it across the leg on the thigh. Come down halfway. You can even sit here, or if you can, take your hands to the ground and see if you can push the seat further up and back. Pull your body against the leg. If you had the lotus, your hand maybe still be binding the foot. The right hand can come beside your foot. Maybe you can come right onto your ankle. Hold your breath and bring your hand to the ankle, the index finger along the outside of the right heel. Gaze just on the toes. Anchor down to the inside edge of the foot. Then from here, you can bring your hands down. Bend your right knee again, and if your foot's in lotus, take it out of the lotus. So you can hook your foot around the top, almost close to the shoulder, very close to the shoulder. And the other, the left knee, the left arm is pressing just underneath the knee. Lean forward, hold your breath, press into your hands. See if you can take the right foot up off the ground. And maybe the right leg can extend out as well, if you know that variation. And then come back. Press into the right foot and come back up. Release. Okay, come to the back end of the mat. If you can, you join your hands behind your back. Squeeze the heels, your palms together. If this is too much for balancing, you can take your arms out to the side. Balance in T-pose to start. Take your left foot forward, hinge at the hips, bend your left knee, and then make your way into the pose by bringing the right leg up. So your body is level with the ground, like you're lying on a table. Or it resembles a letter T. Those of you who want can come up or down a little bit lower the chest, bend your left knee if you like, bring your chest on your thigh, pull your hands over your shoulders, keep your head forward, the right leg comes up higher, higher than the head. The head's height, about the height of the knee, your foot may be able to get higher than the head. Again, if you can also do like an airplane with your arms out to the side. Now drop the left hand down to the ground, turn to the right, Adho Chandrasana. Pull the right leg up higher. Open up. If you look up, you won't be able to see your foot if the leg's in the right position. If you need to, you lower your left knee down. You can do it right from your knee. So again, you do the position that's suitable for your abilities. Now one more here, just an extension of what we did before. Bring the right hand back, left hand to the foot again. Pull the body against the leg. If you need to, you bend your left knee so your belly can land on the thigh. The right leg comes up straight up, standing split. If you can, you bring the right foot, right hand into towards the foot and maybe even on the foot. The index finger on the inside of the heel. Break the pose. Bring the right foot down. Lift the head. Exhale. Slump like a rag doll. Relax. And coming up. Good. Now, try it on the other side. Starting off with balancing T. Join your hands together. Squeeze the heels, your palms together if you can. Or take your arms out to the side. Level with the shoulders. Right foot comes forward. Bend your right knee. Come into your warrior, your balancing T pose. You can always bring your fingertips down to the ground as well as you're making your way into the pose. So try to get your leg level with the head. It's often the leg goes higher than you think it does. Try to keep it about the level of the hip. Feel free to stay here. If you want to go forward, go a little bit deeper. You bring your body down, your head close above the height of the knee, your belly on your thigh, and you pull your hands over the head. Arch the back a little bit. Try to get your left foot up high as you can. Your arms can be separated like an airplane diving. And then from here, release the hands. The right fingertips come down at least 14 or 16 inches away from the right foot. Stay with your hand tented. It's just pressing into your fingertips. 5 points of strong pressure through your fingertips. Try not to lift your palm. Don't let the palm collapse. Bring the left foot up higher. Open up to the right. to the left. And then bring the left hand back down. Move the hands back closer to the foot. The right hand comes to the ankle. Pull your chest right against your thigh. So the chest is pretty much on the knee. Lift the left foot up as high as you can. If you have tight hamstrings, you can bend your knee, of course, as you need to. And try to get, eventually, your foot right over your raised foot right over your right foot. Hold your breath so you can move your left hand onto your ankle. It takes patience, determination. The hip is right over the heel. And then break the pose. Bring the left foot down. Take the head forward. Exhale, slump down. Relax. Then make your way back up. Standing in the middle of the mat. Facing along edge of the mat. Bring your fingers together to the height of the shoulders. In line with the elbows. Jump or walk your feet apart. Going to your left. Turn to your left. Sink down to the seat. Be strong and mighty like a warrior. When you look at Sri Dharma Mitra doing a pose, his back knee is very close to the ground. He's coming forward a little bit. And when you swing the arm down, you get slow, you'll be able to touch the fingers to the ground. Again, according to your condition, but keep working your hips. Keep trying to make progress every time you practice. Shoulders down, be steady and strong. Become the warrior. Now bring the right arm up to meet the left. Virabhadrasana 1. Turn your chest all the way forward. If that's difficult to turn your hip, you can lower the back, lift the back heel. You can even lower your knee to the ground if you need to. Take the head back, express more humbleness, devotion. Lower the back knee down, flatten up the toes. Kapyasana. Rock your shoulders back and forth. Push your chest up and away from the seat so you don't get a big crunching sensation through the lower back. No big folds across the back body. Those of you flexible, you might be able to bring your foot up towards the head. You can bring your fingertips down if you need to. I find it helps to bring my thumb into the knee just to get push into the back of the knee. Other hand circling around the outside of the knee. Take your head back, fold the leg, imagine holding the sock behind your knee. And then maybe the foot will come to the head. You can hold the foot with both hands if you like. Keep your seat all the way forward. Eventually you can bring your arms up. This again, according to your abilities, your practice. Your seat has to be very low so you stay steady. Right against the front heel. And then break the pose. Bring the hands down. Move the left foot out to the edge of the mat. Slide the right toes back a little bit more. The more you lengthen, the more you come closer to the ground. And then if your hip is really low to the ground, you can fall to your right. See if you can come onto the forearm. Fall to your left. And then have both sides of the seat, hips anchored down. Keep on telescoping your body forward. If you're very flexible, your chest is almost on the ground, you bring the hand to the outside. Keep your knee close to the shoulder. Be like a lizard. Just sun yourself on warm earth. Emerge as a form. Be one with the lizard. If you're not quite there, your hips are still high from the ground, so just stay on the hands, but imagine your hips are sagging heavily like big water bags, or sandbags. Sink them towards the ground, the rest of the body will eventually follow. You have to keep on sliding your toes back. Your left knee stays over the heel. Make sure it's not falling out to the side or falling out of alignment with the knee in general, with the foot in general. And now coming back up. Push the hip back. Lift the toes up on the front foot. The hip is over the back. The hips are over the back knee. Down to the leg. Adho Hanumanasana. Your chest trying to get beyond the knee. The cheek resting on the inside of the shin. Keep your attention at the base of the spine. Keep visualizing the spine going longer and longer. This may be where you are finding your edge. If you want, you can try to push the left heel forward now. Come back into sort of a lunge position, your hips all the way forward, but move your hands back alongside your seat. Straight line from the back knee to the front knee. And then imagine you're trying to stretch the mat between with your feet. Bounce a little bit. Do this again mindfully. Don't go too fast or aggressively. Don't go to a place that brings you in a state of pain, suffering, and anxiety. It's not what you want to transmit. If you're all the way down, you can take any variation you know. You can take your hands and onto the image in front of the chest, over the head, or you can even turn to your left. Lots of different things you can do. You can even do this, approximate this, even if you're not in the full pose. You can see you lean forward. Those of you who are very flexible can bring your body down on the inside of the leg. And then make your way back. Bring your hands alongside the hips. Lean forward and drag the left heel back in. Good. Now, come upright. Bend the toes under the back foot. Bring your hands on the hips. See if you can lift the left foot up easily. If it comes up with a lot of resistance, just move your foot in. You should be able to lift if your foot's in the right position, when you can lift your foot up relatively easily. The legs should look like a box. Parivrita Paschimottanasana. Do it this way. See it from this angle. Right arm up, angle the toe of the knee towards the right. Allow the armpit to sit on the inside of the knee. Left hand pushes into right. If you like a fist, sometimes helps to drive a little bit more force into your right hand. So you can bring your belly up higher than the thigh, and then your body can spin more easily. Push the left hip back, the top of the head forward. Try to get the center of the chest behind your thumbs. Your left shoulder over the right, maybe even more. Eventually working, getting them at the same height. If you want to take a bind, push your seat back. Use your left hand, if you like, to guide the right arm underneath. You move your seat back to get more space. Your elbows close to the calf of the left leg. Left arm goes over the back. Take the hand out from underneath a little bit more. Then join them together. Last action, hold your breath. See if you can take your knee up off the ground. And then you can spin even more. Turn the chest and head up. Break the pose. Bring the hands back. From here, bring your hands back to the inside and come to face along the edge of the mat again. This way. And then come all the way back up. Arms out to the side, go to the right. Turn around 180 degrees if you need to. Sink down into your seat. Back into your warrior two. Strong and steady. Embody all the qualities that we see in a warrior. They're already within. Swing the left arm up to meet the right. There's a portion of God present in every form. And as God is in every form, we too are everywhere. We have qualities of every form within. Lower the back knee down, flatten out the toes, Kapiyasana. The version that you like. If it's too much for your shoulders, take your arms back like this. You can see if you take hold of your opposite elbows. Allow the head to just sit in your arms and lean back like you're lying at the beach. Or if it's too much still, hands on the seat, push the seat down, keep the chest lifted and hands on the knees. So lots of different options you can do here. Telescope the body out of the hips again. Again, if you want, you can more advance. Take your left thumb to your left knee, cup your fingers around the outside of the knee, and see if you can bring your foot up. This might guide your foot to your head more easily. Through the practice, we learn tricks to get into the poses more easily, more efficiently. pose. Make way for lizard. Moving the right foot to the edge of the mat. Actually, no, not yet. Push the seat back. Lift the toes on the front foot. And see if you can bow down. Actually, no, I was right. So move the right foot out. This has to go first. So you move the right foot out to the edge of the mat and fall to your left if you can. So you can get your left hip and left forearm to anchor down. And then roll back to the right. Try to get eventually the body lower than the knee. Keep telescoping the chest forward. Make your way further and further down. If your hips are anchored down, eventually the pelvis, the belly, and the chest will come down as well. Just visualize that lizard, just sun yourself on a warm earth and just become that form. And then make your way back. Ardha Hanumanasana. Keep your left hip over the back knee. Lift the toes up on the front foot and bow to your leg. So you might be able to get your forearms to the ground. Your chest moving towards and beyond the knee, the top of the head, maybe eventually touching the front foot. Take your attention to all those areas where you want to find more release. In this case, probably the back of the leg, the hamstrings. That's where the prana will go. Your attention is like a magnet. It attracts all the prana there. Now, if this is again too easy, lift your chest, hinge your seat forward, bend the toes under and back foot. Make sure your right hip is not moving too far forward. You want to have your hips even. Eventually, you want to have your fingers on either side of the hips. Use blocks if you need to, underneath your hands, so you can stay more upright. And then you just, again, imagine you're stretching the mat in opposite directions with using your ball, the foot of the back foot and the heel of the front foot. Push up to the base of the toes. And once you're all the way down, again, you can find your way into different forms here. Use your creativity to find a form that brings you to the edge of your potential. If you never try, in 20 years, you're still going to be in the same place. Keep on trying. Keep on moving forward in every sense. See yourself in the forms. Constant practice and determination, you might arrive. And then from here, getting ready to come out, and the toes under. Press, lean forward a little, press into your fingertips, and pull the right foot back. The knee, the left knee underneath the left hip, bend the toes under, and again, hands to your hips, see if you can lift the foot up. And then place a heel directly in line with the back of the knee, left arm up, go to the right, Sukha Padivita Paschimottanasana start. Right hand pushes into your left, belly comes higher than the thigh, and then roll the right shoulder all the way back. Try to turn your chest and face all the way up. Take the bind, push your seat back, and then use your right hand to guide the hand underneath. Sometimes it's a little bit easier even to do with your leg up, your knee up, so you have more room still. You have lots of clearance, but you have to try to keep your balance. So you have to hold your breath as you take your knee up, and then your left arm pit has to be sitting on the outside of the knee. If your arm is too high, if you're not directly on your leg, your arm's not on the leg, it's going to be a bit more difficult to find your way into the bind. Roll the right shoulder back. Keep trying. And break the pose. Bring hands back to the inside here and move back to face along the edge of the mat. So from here, those of you who are flexible can come to side splits. So be careful again, don't overstretch. Do it mindfully. Those who are very flexible might be able to slide your feet all the way up and get your seat closed or maybe on the ground. Here, roll the thighs inwards. Of course, if this is too much, you can also do frog. So in frog, you walk your hands forward underneath your shoulders like you're doing a wide plank. Lower your knees down. And then come onto forms and slowly try to bring your seat down. If it's too intense, you bring your feet close together. Your big toes can come together, come into baby pose. So lots again, levels depending on your flexibility. Remember how your feelings to an extent affecting everyone. Don't go to a place of pain and suffering yourself. That's exactly what others will feel through you. So we have to be careful. And remember, the divine essence, God is sitting within, so you hurt yourself, guess who feels it first? So from here, press into your hands, bring one knee closer to the other if you're doing a frog, and then come back. So if you're doing a split, be careful, of course. Before you split, move forward, lift your chest, push and heels your palms, hold your breath, lift your seat, and then walk your feet. Heel toe your feet in until they're comfortable distance. So a little bit, maybe about 2 or 3 widths beyond the edges of the mat. Krasalita Padottanasana. Take hold of the ankles or step on your hands. Take the head forward and then pull the body right between your legs. Krasalita Padottanasana. Those who are more flexible can bring your head further in. The head may be in line, back of the head in line with the heels. Lift the shoulders, the seat in line with the top of the head. You can stay here, this is where you're at. If you want to do headstand or farm balance, you can. You can bring your hands so that the fingers are a little bit behind the heels, tripod. Push into your hands. Hold your breath. Those you can straddle right up from there, circle your legs up, go ahead. Other way to enter is to just bring your feet back behind your wrists. So knees just underneath the knees, press against your elbows, bend your toes away from the ground, maybe, and then the feet will come up. You can just dance from toe to toe. This is a pretty safe position. All you have to do is put your feet down, but don't move fast. Nice and slow. Now if you're in headstand, come back down. Any which way he feels appropriate for your ability. If you're straddling down, engage your core more as your feet come close to the ground. Hold your breath so your feet can land right beside your head again, same place they started, as it started. Arms up to the side, come all the way up. Pull your heels in. Easy to Chakrasana. Place your hands on a seat. Bend your knees like you're sitting on a horse. Bring them far forward so the knees are beyond the toes. Allow the head to go back. You can keep your hands on the seat, push into seat, pull down, or walk your hands, slide them one at a time down the backs of the legs. Holding just underneath the knees. Roll the thighs outwards, roll the shins inwards. Your thumbs come a little bit further through the center, and push your hips forward and up so your legs straighten more. If you're more flexible, keep going. You can walk your hands down. That you might be able to step on your fingers with your heels. Some of you might be able to even come into Urdhva Dhanurasana. If you can see the floor easily, your head's close to the ground, one arm comes over your head and then the other one. Remember, you have to try to be able to get out of this too, so again, be mindful of what your abilities are. So if you're in Urdhva Dhanurasana, you come onto your fingertips. One hand comes to the back of the knee, push into the back of the knee hard so your hips come forward. Hold your breath and take your other hand to your, just in the same place on the other leg. Walk your hands back. Everybody come back up. Tuck your chin as you're coming up, closer up, and then arms out to the side. Jump your feet together. Standing tall like a mountain from the base of the spine, like the base of the mountain. Breathe up to the crown, which is like the summit of the mountain. Exhale back down to the base of the mountain. Be solid and shakeable through and through, unmovable in your devotion to the practice, in your intention to serve. Now we're going to come into Vasisthasana. If you want, if you don't have any wrist issues, again, be careful. You can fall in like sometimes Sri Dhamma does. Otherwise, you can come into table and then into your plank. So if you're coming from up standing, bring your hands in front, spread your fingers, hold your breath, and then come forward, fall into the pose, plank. And then from here, left hand comes more in front of the nose, to move your hand to the right. You can keep your ankles crossed if you like. Vasisthasana. Body straight at first. From the heels all the way to the crown, straight line. Make sure your hips are not sagging down or you're not dropping to your shoulder. Keep your left arm fully extended. Right arm a continuation of the left arm right through the body. And then go to the other side, come back to plank. Right hand comes to the left a little bit. Keep your ankles crossed if you like. Vasisthasana. You can stack your left foot on top of the right if you like. Make sure your left arm is active, so no spaghetti arms. And then come back to plank. From here, lower your knees down. Sit back on your heels, or you can sit between your heels if you like. Depending on your flexibility, don't force your knees. Again, be mindful. Bring the right arm up. Take the elbow with your left hand and push it up higher and further back behind your head. The back of the head is anchoring the right arm in place. You can stay here, push into the back of the heart with your fingertips, or if you have shoulder mobility enough, you can bring the left arm up to meet the right. Push into the back of the heart. Drop your shoulders down. Lean back a little bit. Good. Now from here, come forward. Land your belly on your thighs or close to your thighs if you can. And see if you can, when you tip forward, your elbow might come to the ground, maybe your head. And if you want, you can push your hip up higher so that you're on the back of the head. If you want to go even further, hold your breath so you can take your knees off the ground. Walk your feet in. Do it slowly again. Don't go too fast or you might fall over your head, so be careful. And then lower your knees down again, pushing through to your toes, and come right back up. And release. All the movements controlled and graceful. Left arm up now. Take the elbow with the right hand, push it up, and send it back behind the head, anchored in place with your the back of the head, and then take your right arm up, if you like, to take the bind. Push in the back of the heart, send the hands down, lean back a little bit. And then from here, if you like, come forward. So you might be able to get your belly on your thighs. You might be able to bring your forehead down already. And then just lift your seat, and then just move your left elbow forward. And keep moving forward. Try to lift your hips more so that you're more on the, maybe moving towards the back of the head. If it's too much, you just can move your head forward so that you're on the top of the head as opposed to the back of the head. And then those you like, hold your breath. Press into your elbow, the top of the head. Walk your feet closer and closer. Maybe eventually your thighs come right against the body. And it's almost like you're going to fall right onto your back, but control it so you don't. And from here, walk your feet back as you need to. Push into your elbow. Hold your breath. Bring your knees back down, your seat back down, and then come back up. Release. Good. Shoulders. Release. So now, one more round of Vasisthasana. This time, if you want, you can try the variations. Or you can do the same thing. So standing on your left hand and left foot first. Remember, this is always also an option here. Keep your knee on the ground. Make sure your left hand is aligned with your knee. From there, you might be able to eventually get your left knee off the ground. You want to go further, slide your right toes back, spin on your left foot, and then move the left foot in closer. Make sure your foot's not turned 90 degrees. Toes should still be in the same line as the rest of the leg. Push your hip forward all the way up as well. As though you're trying to get your hip over your foot. Your left arm is then fully extended, you have the strength. And the left inside edge of the foot is down, so you can take your right foot up off the ground more easily. Catch the knee, maybe catch the foot. Break the pose gracefully, come back down, spin on heel of palm, spin on the left foot, come back to downward facing dog. I like to start in downward facing dog because the hips are already high to start. Go on the other hand and foot now. The right hand moves towards the left, spin as you come into the foot as you come into Vasisthasana, but keep going. Slide your left toes back, turn the foot, so again the toes are not 45 degrees at the most. No more than that. You want to have the inside edge of the foot firmly planted down, your right arm fully extended. And then from here you have more ability to take your left foot up off the ground more easily. Push hips all the way up. It should feel like Urdhva Dhanurasana. Catch the knee. If you have the ability, take the foot, stretch the leg. Keep your hip high. Don't drop into the shoulder. It's not good for the shoulder either. Return. Bring the left foot down. Spin on the foot, spin on heel of the palm. Back into downward facing dog. Lower the knees down and relax. Breathe in. Breathe out. All fatigue. Roll your way up. So we've already done a couple times an inversion through the Sukha Gomukhasana and like in before. But if you didn't get a chance to do an inversion at that point, you can try one now. And that might still just be hair pose. If you know how to get to headstand, go ahead, go right into it. Otherwise, bring your forehead in front of your knees and lift your seat up. Try to get your hips over your knees. Imagine you should be able to feel maybe the belly button pressing against the front of the spine, the lower back. Tuck your chin in. If it's too much, again, pressure on the head, the back of the neck, and the head, you just move your head forward. If you want to go a little bit further, you can come into teddy bear, again, fingertips or hands flat on the ground. Make sure they're not beside your head. The heels of the palms in line with your knees. Lift your seat. Walk your hands very close to your wrists, so your hips are coming over the shoulders, and bring your knees just against the elbows. I find it personally easier to have your palms turned towards the body with the fingers equal distance apart. This has you allow to strengthen your fingertips, and then you can just pull your toes away from the ground. Eventually bring your feet up. Maybe you can eventually bring one leg back behind you. Open up your stance a little bit more. Open up your hands so they're beyond the edge of the mat if you're doing that one. So you have more chance to get your hip up over your shoulders. If you're closed in, your back tends around, and it is very hard to get your left leg back, especially if you have if you're limited in your hip flexibility. So open up your stance a little bit. Walk your hands a little bit further forward, away from you. Press into your fingertips, and then you'll be able to come up more easily. Allow the back foot to hang heavily towards you. Those who are more able-bodied, you can come onto your index finger, you can come on one arm if you like, one hand. So eventually, if you do, you have to walk your hands a little bit closer. Hold your breath, keep your feet flexed, your back foot again diagonally. Just peel fingers off one at a time through just on the very tip of the index finger. And then you can take your hand up off the ground every once in a while. Push through the back foot. Okay, so you have to get a little bit more hips over your shoulders. or just stand the index fingers of both hands. Master this first and be able to move your legs around fast without losing your balance before you try to take your one hand up off the ground. And then lower back down softly with control into child's pose. Breathe in, breathe out. Now arms coming from the body, sliding right into cobra from here. Glide forward between the arms, take your chest up, your head back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now we're going to jump forward, land our feet where our hands are coming to squat. Lift the heels, prepare, lift the hands, and then come forward like this. Fingers dangling loose. And then lift the heels if you can. Push into your toes, shoulders over the hips. Lower down very slowly. The seat coming onto your heels, tuck your chin in, and then roll back into easy plow. Your seat over the shoulders, move your hands back. You can stay here if you like, with your hands on your back and your feet close to the ground, with your knees bent, close to the shoulders. If you can come into shoulder stand. Join your hands together behind your back so that your elbows come closer together. Your arms are right behind your body. You can't see them from in front of you. And take your hands to your back. Come up one leg at a time. Do your expression of shoulder stand. You can. If you have a lotus, you can move into lotus now. This helps to make the mind more one-pointed. Increases the benefits in the pose. Only if you have a full lotus. Otherwise, keep your legs straight. If you have a lotus, try to push your knees up as high as you can. So that looks more like a shoulder stand as opposed to a plow pose. Hips have to come forward. All the attention of this space between the eyebrows are two in your mind gods, ever loving, ever compassionate, ever unjudging. Slowly bring your knees down. Come back to plow if you have a Pindasana. If you have a lotus, you can go into Pindasana. Bring your lotus against your chest, your knees on the inside of the head, and those of you who can take the full embryo pose. Wrap your arms around the outsides of the legs. Join your hands just underneath the seat. If you don't have a lotus, just come into plow pose. Again with control. The feet come behind the head. The hips are over the shoulders. You keep your legs stretched out. Or bring your thighs against your body, your knees on either side of the head. Maybe some of you might be able to get your knees almost all the way to the ground in front of the shoulders. Make sure you can still breathe. Now from here, getting ready to come into bridge pose. Some of you might be able to come into bridge pose from here. Otherwise, you can lower down and then bring your feet close to your seat and lift up into bridge. If you want to do it from this pose, you bring your hands onto your back to start. One foot comes forward and down towards the ground. The other foot stays behind the head. So that, and your hands are supporting your seat so that when you land your foot, it comes down very softly. And then as you continue to push your hands into your seat, you can bring your other foot down. Now keep yourself in bridge pose for a moment. Tuck your chin in, your chest coming to the front of the chest, coming to your chin. And then slide your heels together. Keep your heels up. Now bring your arms down. Just walk forward on your shoulders and elbows if you can, until your elbows are close to your ankle, your heels. Take hold of the ankles, sit on your heels, but then push into your elbows, lift your head and your shoulders up off the mat. Tilt forward so your knees come down. Then you're sitting on the heels, top head to the ground. Couch pose. If this is too much for you, you do fish pose. So from here, if you were in bridge pose, just bring your hands underneath your seat, palms down, lower your seat down on the wrists, extend your legs. Then pull your shoulders underneath again, so your arms are underneath the body, lift your back up off the ground. Push your chest up, top and head to the ground. Breathe very fast nose like a sniffing dog. Break the pose. Those of you who are in couch pose can take your hands down beside your head, push into your hands and push into with your toes. Lift your head up off the mat, Urdhva Dhanurasana. If you want to go, those who did fish can now come into bridge pose and come into the Urdhva Dhanurasana as well, or stay in bridge pose. Your fingers come beside your head, and you push into your hands, hold your breath, and get your head up. Stay in pose a little bit, stretch the body. Push your rock forward, back and forth if you like. Those who are more advanced can try to take the left leg up. And then the right foot. Bring the left foot down first, of course. And take the left hand onto your thigh. And then the right hand. Again, this is all optional. Just explore. You can even take your one leg up and the one hand up at the same time. A little bit easier if you take the same side. So if you lift your left leg, you lift your left hand and try to bring it to your thigh. So be very flexible. You can eventually take the left hand to the right ankle. It takes a lot more balance, concentration. And of course, do the other side. Your right leg comes up, hold the breath. You have to have a good, strong Urdhva Dhanurasana by having your arms and legs almost straight. Push into your hand, left hand, and bring your right hand up to your thigh. Might be able to go the ankle. That side is a little bit more difficult. You have to turn your left foot out a little bit. And from here, lower back down. Relax. Breathe in. Breathe out, let go of all fatigue. Imagine you're fainting. Now slide your left foot in a little bit, bring the right leg up, the knee to the shoulder, hold the ankle. And just push the knee against the shoulder, bring the foot closer to the head. Eventually you can straighten your left leg if you have the flexibility to do so. Those who are very flexible can see if you pull your leg all the way down, your foot all the way down to the ground. So your knees coming right into your armpit. Your leg is slipping to the right a little bit. If you have Hanumanasana, chances are you're able to do this pose too. Infinity pose, Anahatasana. And from here, we're going to turn onto your left side now. So turn to your left, and then bring prop yourself up on your left elbow. The right leg stays up. So you can hold the back of the knee, pull the foot up, more flexible. Circle your arm around from the outside and hold the heel from above, and take your foot up. Those who are very flexible might be able to bring your left elbow back on the ground and pull the leg all the way as far as you can towards the ground over your head. This looks like a pose, a variation I showed at the beginning, a balance pose. So look for the commonality in the poses. We are all the same. The sign of self-realization is when we see sameness everywhere. We look too often at the differences, which causes separation and a feeling of alienation or just nothing in common. We're not that. Now from here, you roll back onto your back and then change sides. Do it on the other side. So bring your left leg up. The knee bent first. So you can take it to your shoulder, take hold of the ankle and push the leg towards your head a little bit more. Take your attention again to those areas that you feel tight. Those again here are very flexible. Maybe you'll take hold of the foot and bring it right down beside your body, beside your head. Keep the right knee bent if you like. The left right foot can be flat on the ground. And do what you can. And turn to your right. It wasn't Anahatasana. I had the name wrong. It's not Anahatasana. That's another pose. But it's infinity pose in any case. So again, you can stay on your right elbow and then keep your right leg, try not to go forward a little bit. Hold the back of the knee, do it till you can. Even if you need to bend your knee. So just do what you can. Otherwise you can take your arm around the front, the back of the shoulders pressing against the inside of the thigh. You take hold of the heel from above and from behind. And then you pull your foot down. The leg's a little bit behind the shoulder. So this is again in preparation of getting your leg behind your head completely. Good. You can even go into something that looks like bird of paradise from here. The left arm can come behind, just underneath your knee, and behind, pressing the back of the hand against the lower back. And then break the pose. Roll back onto your back. Since your left leg is up, just take hold of take hold of the knee and pull it over to the right. Left arm extends fully in the line of the shoulder. And just try to encourage the knee to come down. The left hip moving towards the right. Try to feel the spinal twist from the base of the spine all the way up to the back of the top of the back. And the neck. Coming back, switch legs. So bring the right leg up and take hold of the knee with your left hand and then pull it over towards the left. Make sure that the front of the right shoulder doesn't come up. Keep the chest flat from the left shoulder all the way to the hands. So if your shoulder starts to pop up, keep extending your right arm. And come out and twist a little if you need to. Hold your right knee towards the front end of the mat. Try to feel the lengthening starting at the base of the hips all the way up the back body. Break the pose, lie in the back of Javasana. Stay flat on the mat, relax for a few moments. Allow the body to just sink heavily. Learn to let go of the effort instantly and just let the purifying effects take place now. Shavasana is when this happens, and you have to allow it to happen by surrendering all effort, all tension. It's almost as though you fell from the building and just left. All the muscles completely disengaged, all the bones just heavy, everything's sinking down. Imagine now that the body is receptive and in a completely relaxed. Imagine how the best coming in. Allow it to flood in like the waves coming on the beach. Bring with it everything that you need, everything you desire, which is in fact by what everybody else does too. And just direct it all to the spiritual heart and the right side of the physical heart and the center of the chest. For that's where God resides, and this God is equally present in all forms. It will go out to all beings through that divine thread that connects us together. Continue to cultivate compassion by meditating upon compassion, even if just for a minute every day. Say to yourself the following sentence 3 times to really ingrain that intention in the heart and mind. My compassion is ever expanding and reaching all beings. The laws of karma, that is a powerful tool. Through our actions, we generate circumstances for ourselves, outcomes that are according to our karmas, according to our actions, thoughts, and words. So the more compassionate, loving, and mindful and reverent our deeds are, that will bring about that outcome, positive outcome. So it's important to stay in observance of the ethical rules so as to keep all beings, yourself, and as a result, all beings, through your interaction through all beings, content. Now, come back to seated position, ready to carry that out into the day-to-day life, into your day-to-day interactions. We'll close the practice with Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Instill the peace within and send it out to all beings. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be receptive to the grace of God. All is within. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining. Next week, the class will be on Sunday morning, probably. So I have to teach somewhere else at 10 o'clock. So either I'll do it earlier or I will do it on Sunday. So namaste. Much love. Have a wonderful Canada Day.